Hi guys, welcome. I'm going to bombard you with a few videos, one shortly after the other, because I have a lot to say and very little time to get it all done. So let's go. Okay, being a YouTube creator can be one of the most frustrating things anyone can choose to do. One example. One thing you have heard me say so many times that I fear I may start to sound like a broken record is, indeed, I don't exactly know where Archie Mountbatten Windsor was born or who exactly popped him out. There is a lot about Archie Mountbatten Windsor that I do not know. Of course I have suspicions, but I do not know much for a fact. At least not enough to hold up in a court of law. But what I do know is that a little boy by the name of Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor does exist. He is a living, breathing little boy, and on paper he is not only a flesh and blood little boy, but also Harry's son. I know Archie exists. I know it as much as I know what is on the desk in front of me. Archie exists, and that is a fact. He is not someone else's son. He is not a doll. No, Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor, or maybe Sussex now, is a little boy, not a doll, not someone else's child. He is a real child. I'm not saying Meghan hasn't used someone else's photographs or a photograph of someone else's child or even a model. I'm not saying that. As a matter of fact, I know of at least 2 occasions on which she did use photographs of someone else's child. However, that does not mean that Archie does not exist. He does exist. The only mystery, as far as I am concerned, is how he came to be. Who actually pushed him into this world? I cannot even promise you that he has both Harry and Meghan's DNA or neither. I do not know anything like that for a fact. But I do know for a fact that Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor exists. However, no matter what I say, no matter what proof I bring, there will still be a number of comments stating they are actors or rent-a-kids and or do not exist. Well, there are more than this particular scenario which drives me up the wall, because it becomes pure insanity, and so many people actually fall for it. And of course this time I'm referring to the Sussex's visit to Highgrove. Now look, I for one do not believe 50% of the shit we are now hearing about the visit. Not even 1/10. And I'm willing to bet that 9 out of 10 things that we are currently hearing about the visit is utter rubbish. Like those channels who claim they have proof the visit never happened. Bullshit. The timeline they give as proof is also bullshit. Afternoon tea in England is usually between 3 and 5, which means it is normally served round about 4 o'clock. And I'm telling you now that it is, and that it was, quite possible for both the Sussexes and Charles and Camilla to be at Highgrove at 4 o'clock. For Charles to have been at Highgrove at 4 meant he would have had to leave Harwell Space Cluster in Didcot at 3, or just before. And Harry had to leave Birmingham at 2:30. And even if they both left a little later, so what? It is summer, and the sun only goes down at 9 p.m. So to have tea at 5 o'clock, I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world. Now let me tell you guys this. It is incredibly frustrating to watch channels build big audiences by spinning intricate conspiracy theories out of thin air, especially when a simple fact check falls apart under scrutiny. You see, there are YouTube channels who thrives on the exact same formula, namely taking a totally standard private event even, over-analyzing microscopic clues like timestamps and weather and photographs, etc., etc., and presenting it as this grand exposure. Now look, I personally do not trust Buckingham Palace or believe much of what they put out. For the past 4 years, stories emanating from Buckingham Palace have only been rivaled in lies and falsehoods by Meghan Markle's PR and bullshit. But if Buckingham Palace itself officially confirms the visit, then it happened. And indeed, they did. The exact statement reads, on Friday, July the 10th, 2026, King Charles and Queen Camilla hosted Prince Harry, Meghan, Archie and Lilibet at Highgrove House. The palace, on further inquiry, replied that because it was such a highly sensitive, private family reunion and therefore no photos or videos will be released. So just because the public media did not get a photograph or video, it left an opportunity for certain creators to step in and claim that the lack of visual evidence means it never happened. These creators package it as a deep dive in order to give it a false sense of journalistic authority or research. But in reality, it is nothing more than a sophisticated or even sly, sometimes even dishonest confirmation bias, purposefully used to feed an audience who wants to believe the worst or wants to believe the most salacious. In short, if you can't dazzle them with brilliance, then baffle them with bullshit. Simple. You see, Torben Andre is indeed a spin doctor. He is a tabloid journalist, a scandal sheet editor. But never, ever, ever will I put a hand up and brand him stupid. Because that he is not. He is certainly bright enough to have the measure of Meghan Markle and bright enough to know that she will call the palace out in public if he dared to lie about a visit which did not take place. Imagine how Meghan would have used that lie against them. She would not have missed the opportunity. So I can tell you this much. If a palace spokesperson confirm an event to major global news outlets like BBC, Associated Press and Reuters, then it is as real as a royal event can ever get. Always remember, friends, sensationalism and confirmation bias are highly, highly profitable, while the more mundane reality just does not get the same clicks and views. Fact. Always keep that in mind before you believe anything. I can tell you something else. As of right now, no one knows anything about that visit. Nothing. Do I trust that the Sussexes will not say a word? No, I don't. Meghan is not capable of keeping quiet about such an event, and surely it will not help her in any way to keep it 100% secret. I'm reasonably sure that it will start leaking sometime during the course of this week or next week. First, it will be something like, something totally innocent like, "Oh, Arch and Lil were so happy to see Grandpa and Grandma." Can you hear her? I can. But until dear old Meg starts that game, I'm not going to go make up stories. Something will leak, I promise you, or somebody will hear something as staff return after the weekend. Okay, guys, I will chat to you again soon. Until then, take care, stay vigilant, and stay safe. Bye.